Afternoon everybody, and welcome back to the History Veteran UK. As you can see today, I'm in my shed, and the reason I'm in my shed is because the weather is absolutely appalling outside. I was going to go over to the site, but it was just too bad, and I'd have got soaked, the camera would have got soaked and all the rest of it. So today I want to talk to you about something specific that happened in World War II. But before I do that, a little bit of background. So we all know of the, well, I say we all know, some of us would have heard of the battles that have been waged on British soil over the centuries. Bannockburn, Naseby, Stamford Bridge, and I'm not on about Chelsea's ground. Stamford Bridge 1066, which effectively destroyed the Viking era in the United Kingdom. And the last battle on English soil was at Clifton Moor in 1745. But the last battle on British soil was, as most people know, Culloden. A year later, actually, April 1746. So a lot of people know about it. Not everybody, but a lot of people know about it. I had to look them up. I did know about Culloden, obviously, and the only reason I knew about Clifton Moor is I drove my lorry through there one afternoon. There's a big sign up that says here at Clifton Moor was the last battle on English soil. But what if I was to tell you that there was one later than that? Now, I know many of you will probably be screaming at the screen now, saying that, yeah, we know. But for those of you that don't, so just to give you, I want to give a bit, not a bit of backstory, but a little bit of information. So during World War II, at the height of the Blitz, which started on the 7th of September 1940 and raged through to April. The principal aircraft used by the Germans then were the Heinkel 111, the Heinkel 177, which was also known as the Coffin, the Flying Coffin, the Dornier D017, which was called the Flying Pencil, and the Junkers Ju-88, which was used for a lot of different tasks during the war. It was a night fighter, a fighter bomber, and that's the particular aircraft I want to talk about today. So Ju-88-1 from KG-77, so Kampfgeschwader, so bomber group, bomber wing, sorry. 77, based out of northern France. Their main base was in Verle, and I'm sure a lot of the veterans that served in BAOR will know all about Verle. So they were based in Verle. I'll tell you one beauty of being in the shed here is I've got a cup of coffee to hand. So 27th of September 1940. A raid took off from northern France. I have looked, I can't find their exact location in France. I would imagine it's somewhere down on the Aisne, which is Aisne, so a bit further south. If any of you know France at all, Chateau Thierry, that's down on the Orne or the Aisne. Great big American US memorial there, if anyone's ever been there. So raid took off on Gravesend that evening, and during the whole event, we're only going to talk about one aircraft, but during the whole event 6 aircraft were lost, 5 completely destroyed. Now these aircraft were quite new, they only come out the year before. So the one that we're particularly interested in was piloted by Unterofficer Fritz, it'll come to me, his name. So over the Gravesend, they did their bombing run, dropped about £4,000 of high explosive, banked to turn back home, which meant they would have come across the River Medway, and they were hit by anti-aircraft fire from the ACAC positions that were at Upnor on the River Medway. And all the Royal Engineers all know about Upnor Hard. Just further down is Upnor Castle, and the guns were based there. Had one engine destroyed. Now, it was the Air Ministry really wanted to get hold of some of these aircraft, the Ju-88 intact. They sent aircraft from 66 Squadron, which had bases in Gravesend and Kenley, which was Hurricanes, and 92 Squadron, which was Spitfires, out of Biggin Hill. So they sent these aircraft up to destroy, or better still, force it to the ground, to make it, give it a forced landing. And that was achieved, but the German pilot knew that in that area was a marshland where a lot of aircraft had been ditching. It was flat, boggy, so it was quite secure for the aircraft to come down. British aircraft were using it as well if they got into trouble. And it was between Faversham and Whitstable. So down he come, crashed into the marsh, 4 crew on board, all the crew got out. In that area were the 1st Battalion of the London Irish. Now, principally, they'd been put there as in defence. We're still sort of 1940, or September, August, July. Only 4 months before was Dunkirk, and everybody was really tetchy. But it became quite soon apparent that this invasion wasn't going to take place. So their role down on the South Kent coast was to recover enemy aircraft that had downed and protect it from looters or the crew sabotaging the aircraft. So there were devices on a lot of German aircraft that they could, like a fuse basically and a small bomb, so they could switch it on and it would blow up and it would destroy the most vital parts of the aircraft, if not it all. And this was the case with the Ju-88. So between Whitstable and Faversham, there's a little seaside town called Seasalter, and in there is a pub called the Sportsman, and this is where a detachment of the 1st Battalion London Irish were billeted in a pub. Magnificent. Not all war is hell. So they knew the sound. It was night time as well, so they knew the sound. So a reinforced section, about 12 men, set off towards the aircraft. Set off along the road, expecting the crew to surrender, you know, captured, for you the war is over, etc. Only to be met with a hail of gunfire. So they quickly took to ground. The air crew had machine guns themselves on board. There are reports that they dismantled the machine gun that's fitted to the Ju-88, but that's unlikely. They could have used that, but by now they're out of the aircraft because they were going to move away and switch on the detonating device to destroy the aircraft. So these 12 London Royal Irish, they separated into 2 groups in which to flank So one went off round the dike, round one side, whilst the other half of this detached group give covering fire. So pretty much basic infantry stuff, but did it quite well. Shortly afterwards, there was a white flag. The Germans have capitulated, surrendered. So they take them prisoner, and they deactivate, or someone there, one of the troops, deactivates the detonating device. Meanwhile, back down the road at the Sportsman, a Captain John Cantifer has turned up for an inspection, to inspect the troops. He's there, someone explains the situation to him, and it's at that point that they hear the gunfire from the aircraft. So he grabs some men and off they trot down the road to the scene. By the time they get there, the fighting's over. None of the British are wounded. One of the Germans is shot in the foot, and the pilot was also injured, but that was prior to him landing. So he did a good job of getting the aircraft down fully intact, whilst injured himself. Unbeknownst to the Germans, Captain Cantifer spoke German. Either he did or one of the other troops did. I think it was him. And overheard the German saying this other device is going to blow up shortly, so you know it'll be over soon. He overhears this. Captain Cantifer runs inside, finds this small black box, takes it out and throws it into the dike, which is some way off. He was awarded the George Medal for that act, obviously going back in to rescue this and to save the aircraft, really. And most of the other troops received the mention in dispatches. They were taken to the Sportsman pub where they were given beer and souvenirs were swapped. One soldier even says that he's still got a pair of their uniform lapels. For them, the war was over. They were to spend the rest of the war in a prisoner of war camp. I'll stick the pilot's name up, actually. I can't remember his name. It was Fritz Rundstadt. I don't want to guess. I'll put him up. And that was the last battle by an organised group on British soil. All right, it was 4 men, but it was still an organised group. The last battle, 27th September 1940. Graveney Marshes, the Battle of Graveney. Okay, I hope you enjoyed that. If you are enjoying the videos, please like and subscribe. Thanks again for the great comments. And some of you are starting to, sounds like I'm a school teacher. It's nice to see, and I think I've mentioned it before, that people are discussing, you know, what's coming up. And I'm learning stuff as well. So that's it for today. I'm off to France tomorrow and hope to bring you a brief video from there. Just about one particular area in around Calais. So until then, thank you very much. See you again.